Hi friends, it is your favorite bathroom blogger. Should I call myself that? I don't know if people really would want to watch someone blog in the bathroom all the time, but hey, you know what? Maybe it's a thing. I don't know. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about something that I might have talked about before, but it has been such a recurring theme in my life that I really wanted to kind of drive this in. And that's really coming back to the place of understanding why you're going through what you're going through. Now, a lot of you know the stuff that I'm going through, or maybe you know that I'm just going through stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I'm even, what is up with this? That I'm even sharing these videos in the first place. And you might also know that I just really feel like God has given me some pretty cool perspective along the way, which is what I want to share with you. And so every single day that I kind of walk this out, I feel a lot more peace and a little bit more strength coming back to me. And one of the reasons why is because of perspective. Now, there are so many of you. Honestly, there's so many people right now going through stuff. And we're all so different. And you know what? We have a tendency of looking at another person and comparing the junk that we have. You know, it's funny because, like, as human beings, we compare the good, but we also compare the bad. Like, what's up with that? I mean, we're competitive and we have this tendency to like look at our neighbor and be like, oh my gosh, look at her house, look at all the stuff that she's got in it, look at her kids, how well behaved they are, and look at her job, and why does she have such a cool career, and oh my gosh, they seem to have such an awesome marriage, why can't I have that? You know, I mean, we have a tendency of comparing the good things in other people's lives. But why is it that we have a tendency of also comparing the bad things that happen in our lives? Like, I sometimes look at someone else, or how many of you do this where somebody kind of, you know, shares with you, like you might be going through something, but somebody shares their story with you and you're just like, whoa, that is so much worse than what I'm going through. Or, you know, you might be going through a similar situation, but that person's situation seems to be like way more hopeless than our own, you know? And a part of it kind of, again, gives us a little bit of perspective. Like, okay, maybe I should be more thankful for my situation not being that bad. But it also almost has a tendency of removing that validation. Like, it just takes away the authenticity of what we're going through. You know, a lot of us have this habit of saying, oh well, you know, I don't really want to talk about my stuff with other people because they're just not going to care, or they're going to laugh at me, or they're going to think that I'm crazy, or they're going to think that I'm silly because it's something not so significant. Or, you know, we tend to downplay our trials and the things that we go through because we might compare ourselves and our situation to someone else that could be going through something so unbelievably hard in our minds that we're like, okay, well, I don't want to talk about my junk because that person really has junk, and I should really be thankful for the good stuff that I have going on and for the fact that I'm not in that place. And you know, okay, so a part of that might be true, but at the same time, I think that what the enemy wants to do is alienate us. At the end of the day, he wants us to think that we should not be the people that we are, that our feelings, that our thoughts, that our, you know, the way that we live, that everything is wrong. It's almost like we're under constant attack and constant finger pointing and conviction. If it's not one thing, it's another. If we're, you know, if we're comparing the good, then we're comparing the bad. You know what I mean? It's like it's always something. And what I want to say to you is this: each of us has our own cross to carry. We all are going to be given this purpose. We all have this journey that we have to walk out in life. And yes, we make good decisions, we make bad decisions. And something that might be so difficult and excruciating for me might not be that big of a deal for someone else because they could be going through something that would seem to be so much worse. However, we can't compare our journeys because there is so much purpose, and there is a specific reason for every single detail of everything that we're going through. And I don't know if you believe that or not, but I really believe in Romans 8:28 that, God works all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And there is not two people on this earth that have the same story. And we all need to know that in order for us to find fulfillment, in order for us to find purpose, in order for us to be able to walk in what he is calling us to do, it is so important for us to know how valuable our trials are. I really am getting a different perspective on like finding it pure joy. All the trials, all the challenges, finding joy in that, because it's almost like, think of it this way. Whenever we go through something difficult, in that moment you can say, I have an assignment. Oh my gosh, this is it. I have an assignment. And this assignment does not end with me. This assignment is not about me anymore. This assignment is going to touch someone else's life, and it could potentially change the lives of the people around me and people that I haven't even met yet. And so I want to remind you all, no matter what you are going through, number one, it matters. What you are going through, no matter how small or how big or how someone next to you is dealing with their stuff, what you're going through matters. You matter. Your sadness, your brokenness, your feelings matter, because it is what you are supposed to walk through in order for you to find your purpose. You have been given an assignment in this world, in this life. And the funny thing is so many of us run the other direction from our pain and from our problems. We want to drown and medicate our pain. And can I tell you that our pain actually evolves into our purpose? Our testimony begins with a test. And so I just pray that this video reaches those of you who are going through hard times, who are going through difficult things, and for you to stop for a moment and say, could this be my assignment? Could this be a setup? Not that God caused it, because God cannot create anything that is not good. God is only good. God can only give good gifts. He cannot do anything against his word. And so I pray that you shift your perspective, that you begin speaking the truth, and you begin owning your life and your path, because your path and your road is yours and no one else's. And you need to stay in your lane. You cannot change lanes. You cannot compare yourself or look over at the other person and say, why are they going through this and I'm not? Or why am I going through this and they're not? Or why do they have this? Were they given this blessing? Or why are they going through something worse and I feel guilty for complaining about my stuff? Keep your eyes on your road. Keep your eyes in front of you and keep walking your purpose, and keep changing your perspective to know that you are in the middle of the greatest setup of all time. I just hope that this speaks to you. I hope that this really gets to you in that place where it starts to change the power that lies within you, where it starts to change your perspective, because your perspective is everything. It can turn a tragedy into the greatest purpose of your life. And so I want to communicate this to you, and I hope and I pray that you are hearing me right now, because if you're going through stuff, know that this is an assignment, the greatest James Bond assignment of your entire life, the greatest setup, supernatural setup from your Heavenly Father. And if you just shift your eyes, if you take your eyes off of other people's lanes, and if you just look to him and say, what do you want me to do in this moment? What can I do for you, God? Because I know this is My assignment has begun now. So I pray that you take this to heart, pray about it, talk to God about it, and let Him speak to you, give you the grace, give you the strength, give you the wisdom to be able to walk out this assignment. I pray you're all well and that this encourages you in your season. Have a great night.